What is going on, people of YouTube? My name is Kurtyoy and welcome back to a brand new video of transfer targets. Gone for the weekend again. Hopefully that'll be stopping soon so I'm able to pile up on videos to get out for you. But yes, transfer targets is back and today we're doing West Ham United. Another big team, another team that was recommended a bit. A few things to mention if you are recommending teams. I am listening, but at the moment I'm trying to delve into them. I know Leeds been mentioned a few times and that is on the agenda. However, you know, the Premier League clubs are a lot easier, they're a lot publicised, you can look at more to do with them. I found with Sheffield Wednesday, even though it's a club I support, you have to delve a lot deeper to find out stuff like contract details of the lower players. You've got to find out, you know, their stats for the season, their potential moves to clubs around the Championship. You've got to look for a lot more stuff. So that is coming, trust me. Fingers crossed, should be by the end of the week. Another thing we've got coming is the giveaway announcement. Just over a week now until we announce who has won the giveaway. Click the link in the description to enter the giveaway, and it's your free chance to win up to £50 in a £100 giveaway. And lastly, one thing I have to mention is Sheffield Wednesday. Please don't let George Hurst go to Everton. That being said, let's move on to see who's already been confirmed to have left West Ham. And those three are Vara Baloa, you've got Jonathan Callery and Gökhan Tor. Now, two of those were loan endings. That was Callery and Gökhan Tor. Those two weren't good enough. They played a few times during the season and they barely influenced. You're looking at lack of goals from Callery. The only goal he got was a deflected goal, I believe, in the Premier League. And Tor was awful, really. Didn't really contribute much. Barely played, and for a good reason, because he was shite. I think he also might have picked up an injury, but yeah, he was bad when he was playing at the start of the season. And Arbeloa hasn't really done much, not really been given a chance, not really up to the quality of the club, so they've let him go. Those three, self-explanatory. Next up, we've got goalkeepers, and although it looks like I'm saying Randolph and Adrian should both leave, only one. I've put them both on there because I'm not sure which one yet. So I'll put it to you. Would you want Adrian or Randolph to leave? I believe they need a new goalkeeper, because the two of them together, I feel like they're two backup goalkeepers. They're two goalkeepers that if the first team goalkeeper makes a few mistakes, you put him in for a few games, he'll do the job. But those two, I think, as potential two first team goalkeepers, they need to improve on that. West Ham are a club that can move into those Europa League positions, can move into that 7th and above. They just need to spend money in the right places. At the moment, I think there's a few places they really lack quality on. So I'd say my choice, I genuinely cannot say, but one goalkeeper needs to go. I know they both had their contracts renewed, I think, at some point this season. They need one of them to go to bring in a better goalkeeper. To have that, bring in another goalkeeper and have those two at the club. It seems like a ridiculous mishmash. So I'll at least get rid of one. Then move on to the defence, and two defenders I'll get rid of, Mr. Collins and Mr. Nordveit. I both believe I think they're not good enough. Nordveit joined and I think it was given a ridiculous deal at West Ham. He's been shocking. Mistakes here, there and everywhere. He's cost them points at some points this season. Barely got anything contributing forward. So I think he needs to go. And James Collins, it's almost like that club legend sort of feel. But again, I've related back Sheffield Wednesday and Jose Semedo. You don't want him to leave. Yes, if he's in the team, he'll still work his socks off. He can still do a job for the team. But if the team needs to be and wants to be progressing forward in that right direction, they need to look at players like Collins, like the Semedos of Sheffield Wednesdays, and think we need to, unfortunately, part ways with you to go forward. So for that, I'd say, unfortunately, Collins has to be sold too. And lastly, in the outgoings, you've got three more attacking players. You've got Mr. Robert Snodgrass, Diafra Sacco, and Enna Valencia. All three of them, I think, should leave. I think Snodgrass was a poor signing. In general, in January, I was a bit questioned by it at first because, and him, because he was getting first team football at Hull. If not, you can leave at the end of the season, and there'll be loads of clubs chasing you. If you carry on your form, you could even keep Hull up and then get a better deal at Hull and be worth a little bit more. But he went to West Ham, struggling for first team places and didn't particularly do that well in my eyes. For the amount they paid on him. So I think Snodgrass should be sold, whether they try and get the deal or not that they got from Hull, or sell him to a club for that particular value. Doubt it'll happen, but I think Snodgrass needs to be given the boot, and in that five at the back formation I don't think he fits in too well. You also got Sacco and Valencia. 2 more forward players in Valencia has been playing on the wings and up front for Everton, but he's not good enough for Everton. I think West Ham need to be matching Everton. They've got the money to, they've got the fans to. They sell out the London Stadium every game. Which they don't, I don't think, but if they do, and get to those things, 50,000 people watching you, you need to be getting rid of those players. And I think Valencia didn't perform at Everton, didn't do well at Everton, and I think if they need to be on that level, I think Valencia really should be leaving. He hasn't been good enough in the last few years anyway, and as well as Saka, I don't think Saka has been good enough either, but hopefully they can get a decent fee for them and move the money on into some incomings, which we're going on to next. Starting off with goalkeepers, the 3 I've picked out are Joe Hart, obviously, Alfonso Areola, and Marvin Hitz, I believe his name is. Starting off with Joe Hart, I'm putting him into pretty much every single transfer for every single club. That will stop, obviously there is a limit to who you can join, but Joe Hart would make a good signing, although yes, he is potentially not the future. We'll only get 5 or 6 years of him at the really top level. His reputation has taken a plummet recently, and I think it'd be a perfect choice for both West Ham to get a decent goalkeeper and sturdy their back line, and also for Joe Hart to get his reputation back up, because a few mistakes, the 2 free kicks against Lee Griffiths, the fact he didn't have a particularly world-beating spell on loan in Italy, Pep's constant hatred of him. I think Hart needs to leave. He is leaving, and I think West Ham is a perfect, suitable location for him. You've also got Areola. He's going to be joined from a PSG. He's good for the future, and he's potentially set to be 3rd choice at PSG, so basically no game time at all. But I think Areola could be a good choice for West Ham if they choose to spend big and try and buy him. And then Marvin Hitz, he's got 12 months left on his contract at Augsburg. He's been there for a good few years, been a regular in the team, gives a European experience, and I think it would be a good signing for the time being now for West Ham. Next up, we've got the centre-backs, and I've got 4 potential replacements for Mr. Collins at the back. You've got Stephen Corker, you've got Terence Congolo, you've got Nico Elvedi, I believe you say his name, and Reece Oxford. You may remember him. He used to play at West Ham, somehow, not been given a chance yet, but starting off with Stephen Corker. He's a great homegrown defender from QPR. He's still in his mid-20s, so it'd be a great signing, and he's done well in the Championship. And if anything, I'd have him at Sheffield Wednesday, but I think he could make the jump up to West Ham. Although, I'm saying I need to be getting those bigger players, and I'm looking at the Championship for the first time as my centre-back. I think he's a level above the Championship. That's the reason why I've gone there. Terence Congo is part of the title-winning side at Feyenoord, can play in the the wide left position of the defence as well as a centre-back, and I think it could be a really good position, a really good person to bring in for the back 5 formation. Can suitably play outside, can play inside, good on the ball. And I think he's had a really good season this season. Along with that, you've got young Nico Elvedi. Not sure who he's going to go with. I think he might stay, but he could be a really good signing. Just 20 years old and already looking like a really good defender in my eyes. Yes, you can iron out a few parts of his game that need improving, get rid of them, make him a little bit better. But I think it could be a really good signing for any club, and West Ham would really be in for a steal if they could grab him for any money. And lastly, Reece Oxford. Give him a chance in the first team. The way he played against Arsenal in the first game he played, where everyone was 6-year-old Reece Oxford, who's that? Boom, played really well. That sort of performance doesn't come out of nowhere from nothing. He had the most unsuccessful loan spell last season. I feel like he deserves a chance. And if they do get rid of a centre back, either Nordvine or Collins, maybe even both, I think Oxford deserves a chance. But if they could bring in Oxford, bring in Corker, promote Oxford, I should say, play Corker or Congolo Elvedi, could be a really, really good back line West Ham have for the next season. Then we move on to midfield. We've got 4 other central midfielders, because they've got Fernandez, they've got Kouyaté, they have Obiang, and they've got Noble. Obiang's rumoured to be leaving. I don't want him to. If I was West Ham, whilst I was discussing the transfers like I am now, I wouldn't want him to leave. But the 4 I've got: Jack Cork from Swansea, McCarthy from Everton, Klukas from Hull, and Kearney from Fulham. Starting off with Cork, really level-headed midfielder, really good player, and also potential captain. I think he's been captaining Swansea for a little bit this season, so he could be a good homegrown option if they choose to sign. And also, that's an option that would fit well in that 2 central midfielders in the the 5-2-3 or 5-2-2-1, or however you want to say it, the far back formation. could play really well there. Another person that could potentially play well alongside Cork is James McCarthy. He's not really fancied at Everton at the moment. Yes, I think he's, I've said they don't need to be going for the players like Enner Valencia that are rejected by Everton. I really do rate James McCarthy. I'm not sure why he's not rated. Maybe it's because of the fact they've got Schneiderlin, Drissa Gay, Gareth Barry, defensive midfielders that are rated above him. But I think they could go in for McCarthy. Could be a really good signing. Along with that, we've got two, now I suppose you could say, championship players in Klukas and Kearney. Klukas is a fantastic player. I'd say probably Hull's best player this season, and I really do mean that. And if any Premier League club can snap him up, it'd be a brilliant signing. Klukas can play anywhere, left back if need be. He can play, that far left role in the defence. He could also play in the attacking roles. He can play anywhere. He's a really good utility player, and for me, I think Klukas is a fantastic signing, and West Ham need to make it happen. And lastly, Tom Kearney. He's been fantastic for Fulham last season, and I think the step up to the Premier League is the right one for him. If Fulham couldn't make it happen for him, which I said it wouldn't, even though they're favourites, I think he's a really, really good player. He's in great form. I think West Ham could really do with a player like that. And lastly, we've got the strikers / attackers, just general forwards position. We've got 4 again for them. We've got Deulofeu, Barnard, Iheanacho and Braithwaite. Starting off with Deulofeu, again another Everton reject, like McCarthy, but I think he's done really well in the Italian League this season. I think he could be given another chance in the Premier League. Deulofeu could be a really good signing for Everton. Could play either side, and you've got Deulofeu, Antonio, Ayew, you've got Lanzini. Really good wide options, all 4 of them different in themselves. Makes them a nightmare for teams to play against them. You've also got Barnard from Shakhtar, 12 months left on his contract according to transfermarks.com, so I think it could be a really good signing from Shakhtar, and you could play all across the line, maybe a slightly deeper but also attacking midfielder, but really good signing nonetheless. Then you've got Iheanacho, potential loan or transfer. I'd say go over loan, potentially to buy him. But I think Man City are holding out for 25 million and also a buyback clause of probably something around 35-40 million, just in case he goes on to be a world beater. Thinking, homegrown at the club, I'll take that, thank you very much. But with Gabriel Jesus, with Bernardo Silva coming in, you've got all those attackers, as well as Aguero up front as well. I think his time at Manchester City has come to an end. And then Braithwaite, good little pacey player, can play all across the front line for Toulouse. Been in good form this season, could be a really good signing, and something I don't think West Ham actually have at the club at this current point in time. And that happens to be that for this video. I hope you've enjoyed. If you like, comment, subscribe, and let me know, who do you think West Ham should let go? Have I missed anyone? Would you say not James Collins, not just yet? And who would you bring in? Do you reckon Hart's a good choice? Do you reckon where do you think they need to strengthen? Do you reckon striker is a priority? Do you reckon wings priority? Do you reckon centre back is a priority? They're ageing, those centre backs. You've got Collins and Font, 33, and then the youngest I think is 28. Really, time to bring some new players in. What about Reece Oxford? Let me know all of that in the comments section down below. Remember to enter the giveaway, that's in the description. Thank you all for watching, hope you have enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and peace.